I'll now recognize myself. Governor, to say that this is historically fast, I mean, come on. It's April. This thing happened in August of last year. If you have documentation from HUD suggesting that you do something to combine, or that something that would slow this down, or please provide that to this committee. I think this is a combination of failure at the state level, but I think there's also a lot of failure at the federal government level. And I want to try to, and I know Mr. Cummings and others feels this way too, this is as Congressman Graves is talking about, this is not the first time these things have happened. Mr. Fenton, Congress appropriates how much money to you on an annual basis? Just an annual appropriation.
Including DRF, and so just for the disaster relief fund, I think it's $7–8 billion a year, just the disaster relief fund, and then plus we have money for flood insurance, which is mostly through the policies, and then another couple billion on top of that. So you
get about $15 billion.
Yeah, about $15 billion when you add it all up, all the different.
And I got to tell you, $15 billion a year to do what? Be ready if there's a disaster. Were you ready for this one?
Well, we always can do better. And I think you've pointed out a number of areas where we can do better. I think what happens in the bigger events and these large events, whether it be this event, Louisiana, or Katrina, that it maximizes our capability and the throughput that we have. So when our throughput for mobile homes is about, I think on average, the best I saw was about 41 a day, it doesn't meet the huge numbers when you have 4,500 people ultimately that needed mobile homes.
Okay, so let's put that chart back up on the mobile housing units. This is this event. We have this chart. I mean, those numbers don't ramp up till the end of the year. And they don't even get close to what we need until February.
So our focus immediately is to put people in rental properties, if available, into hotels, and then start to determine, and we're also working the TSA program with, or the shelter, the STEP program with the governor. And so we're getting people into safe, habitable locations outside of shelters. And then we start working through those individuals to determine their requirements. And at the same time, start to order.
If you think you can do, you said, I think, 41 a day?
41 a day with the infrastructure all being intact, power, water, sewer, all
in
being
perfect
intact.
conditions. I mean,
so 41 a day is what we got up to, right? It takes some time.
It took you like 6 months to get to that point.
It takes some time to get the infrastructure and the resources there in order to meet that level.
Can take down the graphic.
Yep.
If we paid you nothing and we just said, hey, Louisiana, here's a bunch of money, go help fight this disaster, Mr. Harrell, what do you think would have happened?
Quite honestly, I probably would have failed miserably, but at least it would have been me failing instead of pointing fingers at someone else. I would like to have the opportunity to do that any day of the week because I feel like I failed the people of Livingston Parish on this disaster. And that's strictly due to the inability of FEMA to work as a team. And I'm going to go back and throw something else in. If you'll look at your National Response Framework, if you look at your NIMS management system, it all says that we work as a team at the lowest possible level. It's not a team approach when it comes to FEMA. So yes, give me a block grant. Let me handle my people.
You know, that's what's sad about this is there are a lot of good men and women serving in all of your organizations. You go talk to the person who's down there on the ground in Louisiana trying to do things, working for FEMA. I think their heart's in the right place. But I don't think any of you could look at this and assess it as a B+ or highly successful, anything other than a total and utter failure from top to bottom. we're not serving the people that they pay the taxes. They do what they're supposed to do, and they're on the receiving end of something that's so devastating, it's just, you can't even fathom it. I don't understand, and nor should we ever tolerate such a lack of response. I want to read, this is, again, it's an internal FEMA document. This document, and the print is like too font here, but this is January of 2017. This is regarding CB&I. It says, for the month of December 2016, the report indicates that the contractor received 1,980 maintenance calls. The contractor only completed 198 of those. Thus, 90% were not complete. And Mr. Boone, you come here and tell us you were highly successful. I just don't understand the disconnect. It's not even close. Let me read another. This is the long term. That was just for the short term. Long term, repeat calls, repeat caller complaints that go without maintenance attention are numerous. Then it says there are 1,655 out of 4,793 issues not completed, which is only a completion rate of 35%. It's not as if we haven't ponied up the money. You're getting big contracts, but I don't understand, Mr. Boone, how you're not aware of this. And Mr. Fenton, if you're not aware of this, who is?
Upon coming into this job, January 20th, I went down there and I asked those questions. At that time, when I was down there in February.
How long have you been with FEMA?
Been FEMA 20 years, sir.
What was your job before this?
I was the regional administrator for the West Coast, and still am.
Okay. And still you don't have that? Okay.
I'm the acting administrator right now, but I'm...
Sorry, keep going, keep going.
Yep. So I've been FEMA 20 years, 13 years in Region 9, 6 years in D.C., went back there for the last 2 years as now the regional administrator. Got sent here to be the acting administrator just starting January 20th. Been here since January 20th as the acting administrator, sir.
I tell you, you got your hands full, because we've seen this movie before, and we've seen it in Louisiana, and we failed again. The federal government fell on its face, and the state didn't do much to help either. As I'm telling you, to not be prepared in April for a contract to start putting stuff out the door, I just can't even imagine what these people are dealing with internally. Let's go to Congressman Johnson, who's also joined us from Louisiana. Congressman, you're now recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr.